Welcome to another lesson. It's time to put our thinking caps on. It's time to ask ourselves the hard truth. Do we deserve to be rich? Do we deserve to be wealthy? There is a big difference between being rich and being wealthy. In this video we are going to analyze and discuss the differences. Before we start, we have to acknowledge our aim. What is it we are setting out to achieve? There is a lot of ways you can now become so-called rich. But only a few ever become wealthy. Number 1. What does it mean to be rich? Being rich is simply having a lot of money or income. It comes down to how much cash you have in your bank account. But just because you're rich, doesn't mean you are wealthy. In fact, being rich can often mean that you are spending a lot of money. It can also mean that you have a lot of debt. It doesn't matter how much money you have if your expenses are higher than your income. Being in debt is definitely not something to aspire to. People who are rich might drive a fancy car or live in an amazing house in the best part of town, but it comes at a cost. If you make $200,000 a year, but spend $225,000 a year in expenses, you might seem rich, but you're on your way to going broke. As a matter of fact, plenty of celebrities have gone broke because of their rich lifestyles. An example is Jocelyn Wildenstein. The woman was famous as a Catwoman because of her looks. Jocelyn Wildenstein was a big socialite. Based on reports, she used to spend $1 million on shopping and $5,000 on her phone bill per month. She is a former wife of the late Alec Wildenstein, who used to be a billionaire in his days. Later in 2018, Jocelyn Wildenstein declared bankruptcy and claimed that she has $0 in her bank account. Number 2. What does it mean to be wealthy? When it comes to being rich versus wealthy, being wealthy is not only having enough money to meet your needs but being able to afford not to work if you don't have to. It's about amassing assets and making your money work for you. In other words, it's having a significant net worth. Wealthy people don't necessarily own the latest gadgets or cars or throw lavish parties. What they do have is a lot of assets, such as real estate, investments, and cash. Good examples are Elon Musk. Elon Musk co-founded 6 companies including electric car maker Tesla, rocket producer SpaceX and tunneling startup Boring Company. Net worth $219 billion. What is the difference between rich and wealthy? Well, there is a bit more to being rich versus wealthy than how much money you have in your bank account. In fact, it's possible for someone who makes less than a rich person to actually be wealthier than the rich person with the fancy car and latest fashion designs. That's because rich people spend a lot of money, but wealthy people save and invest most of their money. Wealthy people might have a lot of money, but they don't spend it all. How to become wealthy? Now you know the difference between rich versus wealthy. So, if you want to become wealthy, there are a few things you can do to get started. Don't just focus on how big your paycheck is. You also want to avoid schemes that sell you ideas to get rich quickly. Instead, follow these steps to eliminate debt and have the right mindset when it comes to amassing wealth. 1. Start by making a plan. Building wealth starts with making a financial plan. That means taking the time to identify your goals and game out how you can accomplish them. Planning and executing is a very vital thing to ensure success. 2. Make a budget and stick to it. Plenty of people dread the B word, but budgeting is a key plank in your wealth building strategy. Building a budget and sticking to it helps increase your chances of carrying out your plan and achieving your financial goals. Budgets also help you understand where your money goes each month and prevent behaviors that can endanger your goals, like overspending. 3. Build your emergency fund. When the furnace goes out or the refrigerator quits working, where does the money come from if you don't have emergency savings? Lori Gross, financial and investment advisor at Outlook Financial Center, says credit cards bear the brunt and cause you to incur extra costs and fees, like sky-high interest rates. By building an emergency fund, you can protect your credit as well as reap the benefits of earning interest on an online savings account, all the while enjoying the peace of mind of knowing you have money in the bank to cover life's surprises. 4. Manage your debt. If you're carrying a balance month to month, you aren't alone. The average American has more than $90,000 in debt, according to Experian research. Of course, not all debt is created equal, and some, like mortgages, may even be considered good debt, thanks to their general low interest rates and wealth building potential. Some experts even think of a mortgage payoff as a type of forced savings account because you'll likely see at least a portion of your monthly payment back when you sell. But if you're rolling over a lot of bad debt, like high-interest credit card bills, every month, you may jeopardize your financial goals. That's why it's important to have a plan for your repayment, Gross says, with the ultimate goal of having a debt-free life. If you aren't sure how to get started, consider using the debt snowball or debt avalanche payoff methods. And remember, it's possible, and often even advisable, to save money and pay down debt at the same time. Then, as your balances fall, you'll have even more money to put towards your emergency savings and investments. 5. Up your earnings. While it isn't a move that you can make at an online brokerage, investing in yourself by raising your income is an important step when it comes to how to build wealth. The more you earn over your lifetime, the more money you have available to invest. In conclusion, becoming rich and becoming wealthy are two journeys of themselves. You can achieve one without ever achieving the other. Currently in the world there is estimated 62,483 millionaires. And only 2,668 billionaires. That is a big gap. Only you can define where you want to be when it is all over. Your life is a book that writes a page every day. But one day someone else will get to read your book. And it is up to you how the book ends. Chasing riches can be a lonely road, and majority of the time you can lose a lot of loved ones on the way. Just make sure you know family is above all. Having riches and no one to spend it with could make you miserable. On that note, I hope whoever listening to this finds the goal you need. Don't be afraid to give a donation back to me when you are successful.